better to ban AA, force your opponent to ban all these heroes that you're talking about, rather than just picking AA and they can't pick them and we can use
Well,
it, right?
it depends on the team, right? So in this scenario, obviously, think about this region. SA, they don't get a lot of scrim time. NA teams, they normally scrim across the pond. They come to EU. SA, they're kind of in their own little bubble. They play each other. So these teams, obviously both being Brazilian as well, they're going to play so many games against each other. So it's not like this is going to be their first game. Also, Brazil, they have so many online tournaments running constantly in between all the tournaments. And these guys, they played so many games. So for the major qualifier, they're in different groups. And the FURIA was the better one there. And then in the minor, then I believe, NoPing obviously kind of came through at the end. So they've played so many online games where this is clearly not their first time against each other. So
yep.
We can't really, they know a lot more than us in this matchup, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So we're going to see a Mars.
We got some pretty SA Dota picks coming out with the first two. Void Spirit, Mars, some of the more aggressive heroes in the patch thus far. Is this what you'd like to see?
Yeah, I would like to see this. I want to see a bloodbath. I want to see them running at each other. I don't want to see a boring Raid King farm. I would be fine with a TA, because that's still going to be some killing after like 10, 15 minutes of that hero just farming, or maybe they invade her. So I definitely want to see heroes like this that can run at each other.
Mechanics question. You can astral step out of the Mars ult, can't you?
Yes.
Interesting. And you could dissimulate. So it's curious that they would go Mars Bat into the Void Spirit.
Yeah, but Mars is, if you get a blink and you surprise him, you can just delete the Void Spirit. The stun on the spear when you're against that wall in the arena, I think you die. You're not that tanky as a Void Spirit. So in that regard, it can be used well, but if you are using your arena on someone else, or he is fast enough to react, yeah, you're right. It can be useless.
But there's a lot of flexibility though in these picks. When you think of Tavo, he plays both of these heroes, and also look at NoPing and their roster. So you have Constabile. Out of all the Brazilian players, he's kind of one of the hard farmers. When you think of these SA players, you've got obviously K1, HFN K3, and then Constabile. They're all kind of in their own little bubble of, these are like the hard carries in this region. And then when you have 4DR, he's a really big like tempo mid laner. So right now with this casual opening, they're just setting themselves up to be able to have decent lanes and that strong aggression as 4 heroes with potentially without the need of Constabile early on. This is why I think they've got
I mean, looking at the Batrider, I know it's too early in the draft, but do you think it could maybe, if it's a Void Spirit mid, that you could put a Bat, it should completely destroy him, right?
Potentially, so yeah, again, that's the additional flexibility there. I'm thinking maybe it's the Mars between offlane and mid, and then maybe the Batrider between offlane and...
Do you think it's a mistake from NoPing, though? They don't ban out any of the cleanse mechanics against a Batrider. So sure, you could theoretically see him up against the Void Spirit, but wouldn't we expect 2 heroes now that can lane up against the Batrider that would almost guarantee it's forced onto a support role?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Your mic's not working. So apparently T-Governor's mic's not working, but have no fear, guys at home. You really didn't miss much. I was listening the whole time. In fact, just keep that expression on your face and stare at the camera. I love it. Perfect. That's what I'm talking about, and that's probably the
Mine's not working either.
Wait, really?
Yeah. You're the only one talking.
Are you guys messing with me?
No.
Production, can you tell me that too? I am the host. I'm in charge here. I need to have this information. Ah, okay. Yeah, they definitely haven't been hearing them then. All right, perfect. Well then, welcome to the Kyle Show, guys. Host, analyst, soon to be commentator, I imagine, if we can't get the other mics working. Let's see here. The Shakers picked up Chen, Void Spirit, Furia, thinking about what they're going to go for next. We were asking, we really had some incredible insight from our panelists, but we've got to get their mics fixed. Harry Freak, I think your mic is working now. I fixed it.
Is it?
Is it? Yes, beautiful. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Kyle. Thank you, Kyle.
Can we break T-Governor's mic again? No, we can't do that. Apparently, we're stuck with him. That's fine.
Oh, nice.
Juggernaut, the selection from Furia. As expected, you pick a hero against the Batrider that just is not threatened whatsoever. Also very good against the Shaker. I remember playing that both as 3, 4, and 5 in my career, and I hated playing against Jug. You get isolated, you're just dead to an Omni into spin, especially once those phase boots come up. It's very difficult to ever pressure.
It's also great against all these heroes, right? It just doesn't matter. When you think of team fight, you think of Juggernaut, right? You think of maybe even Lifesteal as well. These are the 2 default heroes that you want to pick into this type of lineup.
But they do have the lockdown to bring him down, to burst him, right? Maybe not against the Chen, but I guess maybe that heal won't be enough. And they also do have the lasso to break the spin TP. You really want to have that.
No, I'm thinking this is more like, look at this lineup. When you think of Chen, it's aggression. Juggernaut, it's aggression. Healing Ward, you want to make moves. Void Spirit makes moves. Then you look at these heroes right now, Mars, Batrider, Earthshaker. They're kind of clunky where if Batrider doesn't have a good lane, what's he really doing? Mars, it's hard to really transition into anything outside the laning phase. Razor, though, luckily is the saving grace. Kinda.
Is it?
Hold up. Kinda, right?
Doesn't it feel like Mars is going to drop ulti,
Yep.
2 cores can escape it, and Chen can stand there with a mech heal and creeps? Where's the sustained damage going to come?
But the way that I see this is this Razor pick, it's good against the Juggernaut, and they still have last pick. So it's that flex between it's going to be their mid or their carry. They have the ability to put in both roles. They're going to at least see the next heroes, and then they get to answer that question that you just posed to me in their last pick. And Furia, all they need to do is just round out their draft. It's very even, very clean right now. They have the ability to take that early game, and it's just they need some initiation, and then they're pretty good. So I think, yeah, for sure, NoPing are on the back foot just in terms of the matchup right now.
Yeah, but when you look at the Razor, that side still has the last pick, right? So you just put the Razor against the Void Spirit. He completely obliterates him in the lane.
What do you guys think of a Venomancer here against a Shaker and a Bat and a Razor? I feel like Veno for Furia is insane, especially when you look at the way their draft's comprised of so far. And I know that they've picked it in the past.
I kind of like it, but I still feel then you have no lockdown against this Razor who just wants to run in, right? Like when you Mars easily wants to play, and then you mentioned something. You're a big fan of the Fury.
Similar. It's like same concept, right? Because you have minion pressure, you can sort of up the tempo, and all of a sudden, yeah, there's a Razor, but this Bat Shaker is not activated till they have a Blink Dagger online.
They're looking to go. You know, laning phase farm, they're going to run at them, and I understand the idea of the Veno. I think Furion's a better version of that.
Yeah, I agree.
They still need to find a way to actually, when they get to an objective, how are they going to fight? Right now, they rely on this Void Spirit to jump in, and once he jumps in, there's so many ways of just pinning him down that once he's dead, it's hard for the rest of the team to follow up.
But do you think they'll have the damage for that Harry ping? Because if you look at Harry Freak, wow, no ping. Are they going to have? Because I'm looking at this, I just see a bunch of long cooldowns, and a Razor is my one real source of raw damage output.
It's gonna be hard because you can just send the Treants to scout. You don't even have to jump in. You don't have to even have to jump in.
I'm kind of relying on the last pick, right? I'm still hoping that so it's the flexibility of this Razor that's given me hope for this draft to look good. I think you mentioned this cooldowns, that's fine. Earthshaker.
Is it really flexible now? You put Void Spirit in the offlane with the Furion.
No, but I don't mean it's not flexible about laning phase. I'm on about the draft flexibility. The fact that you can just go, what do we need to solve our problem, right? That's what I'm on about here. And Furia, it's quite simple for them. They're going to obviously put the Void Spirit mid. Their Furion's going to be off lane. They're looking for their position 4 to round out their draft.
Are you sure that you just put the Void Spirit mid?
They probably just pick Nyx on Furia, right? It's not banned.
Nyx is a perfect pick here, actually.
Nyx is like the perfect hero for them, I'm sure.
Yeah, it is a perfect.
It counters.
You think they'll have enough team fight?
They don't need team fight. There's not one pick on 4 that's going to solve all their problems, right? But I think Nyx, it gives them that ability to counter the early, all these heroes need items to deal with a Nyx, for example. You want that BKB, or you want like a Yours, or you just want to ignore him, right? And then, I think Nyx will dismantle their draft. It gives you really strong laning pressure. If the lane's really hard top because of the Razor, for example, you're going to have a Boots position 4 that can pull the wave, so...
I don't think it's going to be hard.
I think they're going to go Oracle or some other form of cleanse, just to ensure they
there's
have
the
a hard
buzzword.
counter to a Bat.
Cleanse.
Yeah. Just to clarify for those at home that still flame me for this, Dispel is the mechanic. A defensive Dispel is a cleanse. An offensive Dispel is a purge. Get with it. And shout out to Kevin Purge Godek, who's, of course, making a bunch of great content from home. You should check him out after you're done checking out this stream. Of course, WePlay, WeSave. And also shout out to our top recent donators, Tokes with $35. We're only 7,000 away from getting that EU versus CIS show match final. But for now, of course, Brazil on Brazil action. Last pick soon to come in for Furia. What's it going to be?
I think it's not going to be Nyx. I don't know what it's going to be, but why I don't like it, it's really good against these 4 heroes.
Just disagreeing with T-Governor. Anyone can do that.
But I have a reason, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Back it up. Be quick,
it's
please.
Really good. It's really good against these 4 heroes, but it doesn't really work into this lineup. Why? Because they want to fight earlier, and this is something that helps.
Just like I saw coming. The Spirit Cow, the big. This
Hey,
is.
Wait, Kyle, do you know the changes to Spirit Breaker?
Oh.
I think you should elaborate.
Oh, should I? Okay, so yeah, the Aghanim, it now reduces his charge to 6 seconds. So it's not
Decent.
like you don't rush the item, of course, but when normally if you go position 4 barrier, you go phase boots, maybe the early BKB, and then you kind of ask yourself, maybe I go halberd, but now just go for an Aghanim.
Yeah.
You got this charge on 6-second cooldown, BKB piercing. If you run through them,
dude.
big
Not
fan.
just, it's so good here, actually. Like, if you think about South American Dota, I feel like
Oh,
Spirit
God,
Breaker
no.
is
Oh,
the
hold up.
embodiment. But what is? Oh,
Lycan, man. Yeah.
you like the Lycan?
I like the Lycan.
You liking it?
I like the Lycan.
Got it.
Me liking the Lycan. The Lycan's going to run around freely.
So the Breaker gives them stuns and a lot of global mobility, which is great when you have a hero like FURIA, the burst potential of a Jug, and a Void Spirit. But all of a sudden, this Lycan hero, we talked about, I think it's the highest win rate in pubs in this current patch.
Honestly, I think it's tier 1 hero right now. Like one of the best carries that you can pick. You saw it on day 1, it was banned out. And then we saw Liquid pick it and dismantle OG. Of course, obviously not the
because
full OG,
it does so much for your draft, right? You all of a sudden you have tower pressure and Roche.
Yeah, that's true.
And physical damage is
And
no
how do
longer
you
an
zone it?
issue. Huh?
Spirit Breaker 4 is a terrible position 4 for zoning.
Yeah.
It's more like if you, let's say you have like a Venom Monster type 4 or a Bat Rider, you can enable that hero. But Furion, it's going to be quite clunky and Lycan pretty decent in lane.
Guys, do you really think that you want to lane the Void Spirit mid against the Razor? I really think it's a bad idea.
How bad?
Extremely bad. He's going to get destroyed.
Is it as bad as going up against the Sicilian when death is on the line?
I have no idea what you just said.
You're killing me, Harry Freak. So,
I think that Fury on mid would be better this game. I really don't want to see the Void Spirit suffer that much, but I guess Void Spirit, Spirit Breaker offlane.
Have you realized
really
that
bad.
every panel Harry Freak's on, he has one wild suggestion? Murano a Dagon, Enigma mid,
Of course.
Furion mid. Maybe this time, maybe.
well, you know,
I rate it.
I've had about all I can handle of your expert analysis. Can we get our remote casters on the mic? Lyrical and Kips, are you with me?
Are you there? I've just been hearing you spouting off at the mouth with the billion things. Ask me a question earlier. What's the hashtag again? You're doing a great job.
Thanks, Lyrical. I'm glad I can have your support. I'm really happy to. I've not tried the bread you've been baking, but I have been following along with the recipes. I hope you've saved me a loaf.
Definitely. Kips and I are ready to go. Kips, how you feeling? You excited for some South American Dota?
I am feeling pretty cold here in my cabin in Finland, so I could use some South American Dota to warm me right back up again.
All right, well, let's do it.
Yeah.
Are you going to send us off now? We
Yes,
didn't talk about this beforehand.
Yeah, you keep. That was my entree, Lyrical. Thanks for talking over it. But I love you anyway, Gabe. Lyrical and Kips are going to bring you FURIA versus NoPing esports. We're going to hop right into it. They're of course not here, but they will be with you inside the game in just a moment. Take it away, folks.
Oh, thank you so much, Kyle. I was giving him a hard time. You got to give Kyle a hard time. He's the perfect person to beat up on because he takes it all in and he just remains positive regardless of that. But Kips, how you doing? You excited for some? You talked about you're in the cold in Finland in a cabin somewhere. How's the quarantine life treating you so far?
I mean, pretty good. I've been here in Finland for about a month now, and not much has changed. We go to the store like once a week now instead of twice a week. But you know, Finns, they are not of like the most social types anyway. So you know, it's literally quite chill up here. I enjoy it a lot. And yeah, of course, I am a bit stuck here. I can't go back to the Netherlands. I mean, I can, but then I'd be stuck there. And since my boyfriend lives here, I'd rather get stuck with him than stuck without him.
It's true. I will say, and to anybody out there that also is in a sort of committed long-term relationship, this is the sort of make or break moment, I feel like, for a lot of people in a way. I put out a tweet yesterday as we're just waiting for this game to get underway. There's a little bit of a pause as they're getting into this. I after 2 days of quarantine, I asked my wife the same question 3 times within 5 minutes. And then she said, maybe I should just go back to the office and face the coronavirus. There's this moment that happens where when you know, absence makes the heart grow fonder. And so if you're, you know, with your significant other, just everybody have a little bit of patience, a little bit more than you would otherwise, a little bit of caring, and we'll get through this together. Man, yeah, I'm excited though. I haven't been able to watch too much Dota. I've been watching some streams and stuff like that. I'm really curious if we're going to see the Jug Ags. I think that that's one of the cooler changes. I don't know if it's good, but I just want to see it. I want to see interesting and fun things. Is there anything in these drafts that you particularly like or like super dislike or just excited to watch?
Well, you mentioned the Jug Axe right now, and I think that any spell that scales with your right-click damage is very interesting, because right-clicking, you can buy a lot more items to scale that up instead of, magical damage. So it allows you a very high uptime on a very high burst damage output, which is, I'd kind of like to see that, especially because right now, these fights are all taking very long. I'm sure that you've noticed that. People are really sustaining through these fights. There's a lot of HP also because of the stats from the neutral items. And we've had some nerfs on some of the damage items recently as well. So these clashes take long.
That was one thing that I was thinking about, and it sort of speaks to me of the rise of Divine Rapier as an item too, right? Like time after time after time, damage has just been taken out of the game, it feels like. You can even see it, with Lycan, for instance, right? Like with his Feral Impulse and all that stuff. It is bonus damage again, but for a while, like with Howl, it's going to be, for a little while there, it was like attack speed. Now it's back towards armor reduction, which is, I think, part of the reason why we're seeing this hero come back into play a little bit. Not just because of all the other cool things that he brings to the table, but like he's actually got some damage built into him, which I think is pretty nifty. I'm expecting to see some Necro books coming out. Everybody's building that item ever since Arteezy built it on Spectre. It feels like it's a fun little item to mess around with, and
was it Eternal Envy's idea first?
Actually, I think it was Cuckoo, wasn't it? In Southeast Asia, I think he built it on Enchantress, if I remember, like last major qualifiers. But then they got knocked out, and then somebody else picked it up.
Man, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was casting all of those Southeast Asian games for the tournament that hopefully is going to happen in the near future. Speaking of which, I did want to talk real quickly about some of the history of these teams. Back at ESL 1, FURIA was part of that like three-way tiebreaker match that happened between them, Beast Coast, and Infamous, and that was the one that went on all day long. But they didn't actually play against NoPing until Star Ladder because they both got knocked out of the majors. But when they played the first time, FURIA was able to take down NoPing 2-1, and then they played again in the grand finals, and it was NoPing that won 3-1. I mean, from your experience being a coach and stuff like that, do these rivalries sort of mean that much to the teams individually? Do you feel like winning the last match gives you more momentum going into the next one at all, or is it kind of just like every day is a new adventure?
It differs a little bit per player. I know, like for myself, there's definitely a feeling of, all right, we gotta show him who's boss again involved. And I think that, well, a lot of players feel the same way. It might even be a little bit of a disadvantage if you're very equally matched to have won the last series, because you might feel too comfortable. Whereas, the people who are behind, who are always running to catch up, usually have more motivation to get stuff done. So in this case, I'd kind of be looking at FURIA to be the more motivated party.
Okay, fair enough. God, this is the point that I wish I spoke Portuguese. I speak a little bit of Spanish, but I have no idea what the hell they're saying. I'm assuming they're saying it's all going to start in 30 seconds. So let's just wait for that. And hopefully it'll all work out. There was some talk earlier on in the lobby that they had been hosting it on Luxembourg, but I think it did switch back over to Brazil servers because I've got like 200 ping right now. So hopefully we're all good to go. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch because I think that FURIA, oh my God, 30 seconds. I called it. Dude, I speak
You
Portuguese.
did.
Oh my God. Amazing.
You're such a talented man.
Thank you. But the thing I was going to ask is that it does feel like FURIA's taken sort of the liquid role where you get 5 people that sort of stick together and try and build a squad, and NoPing is kind of the bigger named entities, although they have played together for a long time as well.
Yeah, like they put together this lineup a bit shorter ago, especially because Tavo was at the heart of forming this team as well, and he didn't do anything for the start of this season, I believe. It's interesting, by the way, because of course Tavo has been coached by Tigov, who was on the panel just now, but I also coached Tavo last season after we took him over on Complexity.
Nice. Got him. How'd you feel about Tavo as a player, or just as a person, I guess, as well?
As a
As long
person.
as you don't say you hated him. Any other answer is
not.
acceptable.
Tao is an absolute sweetheart.
Okay.
But also, as like a competitive player, I think what Tigov said mostly rings true to me. Like, he really likes a strong leader because he can be, I wouldn't say insecure, but if you want him to jump in with that full confidence and just go full ham for your team, you gotta have someone standing behind him saying like, yeah, dude, just go for it. I don't care if you lead us into bad situations sometimes. This is what we need from you.
Yeah. I like that analysis. It's very specific to the player. Little charge coming in, bottom side. They're gonna get some damage on the Coast Spile, but should be able to walk away from this one no problem. Trade-off there of bounty runes. It looks like they're able to deny some with the wolves though, so that's pretty nice.
Let's see how well he uses that vision and that extra map control that you can get from the wolves. For me, that's always one of the big differences between a player who's playing Lycan because it's strong versus a player who plays Lycan because he's a Lycan player, right? You look at how well he uses the utility as opposed to just the damage of the wolves.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something that you see a lot of times is like just sending one wolf off to the other side of the map, invis, scouting out where people are at. It's kind of an interesting matchup here. Sexy Fat needs to be careful on this Nature's Prophet. It feels like it's not going to be easy to kill the Spirit Breaker, but Nature's Prophet might be capable of getting ran down a little bit once this Bat Rider gets level 2.
Yeah, interested to see how this support Bat Rider does right now, especially because this Spirit Breaker is looking to get a couple of levels and then probably leave.
Oh, up top, Heliocord doesn't have actually any tangos, so he has to TP out from there. A little bit unfortunate. So using that early TP, but did manage to get the shrine at least, or the outpost at least.
So both teams have traded those now. Yeah, I'm especially going to watch out. I'm keeping watch on this bottom lane just to see like when is Hiko going to leave this bottom lane and start terrorizing the other lanes.
Yeah. Now, we did hear Harry Freak talk about that matchup of Razor versus the Void Spirit mid being a potential concern, as did hear a little charge down there on the other side. But I think the thing I want to watch for is, if that Spirit Breaker comes in, maybe that's that piece of extra aggression that you need to make this matchup easier for Murdoch. We'll see if 4DR can deal with that aggression that's coming in, as another little taunt connects onto 4DR. He does get the link off, and it's going to be a good bit of damage stolen from that Void Spirit. Not easy at all to deal with.
No, and he's going to have a very hard time last sitting under the tower now. Got one pulse there, and now, yeah, you're... Sorry, man, you're not getting either of those.
That stuff's rough. Okay. Well,
Well,
so far, no kills in the early goings of this game. It does sort of feel as if, at least for now, the only lane that's really going to be weird is this mid one, where it's actually they have less CS than all of the rest of the lanes together. Razor not having a great time. It does look like up top, at least, Ardeo is going to be able to connect the pullback over to the side there. So they'll both get one whole wave denied out from each other.
yes, and I think what you're seeing as well here is that on these side lanes, both of these side lanes have a lot of regen innate in them. We have the Chen and the Juggernaut, both of which have regenning options, as well as, of course, the Lycan with his Feral Impulse on the bot lane. Like, both of these are going to be able to sustain fairly well, so they're going to go up against their opponents and trade hits. And Sexy Fat is going to get hit, well, not quite a lot here, actually, as the Bat Rider backs off after a charge.
Yeah, I mean, they got magic sticks and everything. They're like super duper comfy right now. Heliocore's kind of setting up in the mid lane right here. They're trying to find an opening.
Oh,
on
Tower
Murdoch.
Swan.
And charge. Okay. They're charging in onto the Razor, but I don't think that they're going to be able to do anything at all. Yeah, just back out.
And he's even going to get the stolen damage here. Yeah, he goes just keeping that.
All right, easy peasy.
Well, not quite, because now he puts Murdoch in a situation where he really can't trade versus this Razor with the extra 50 damage. Needs to be careful a bit, but he cleans up most of the wave with his Resonant Pulse, and they're actually going in.
Okay, interesting start. They got the Chen creep moving in as well for that extra little bit of damage, and that's actually enough to get them the first blood. Nerf the Harpy Stormcrafter as much as you want, it's still strong.
It is very nicely timed on that damage buff running out as well.
Yeah. And Hiko's just going to head up top lane again as they're setting up onto Tavo. Juggernaut is not really in position to make anything happen here as he wants to cut through the tree there and actually does get in range. And the body block's coming in, but a good fissure, saving his life for the moment. Core is not enough to keep Tavo alive.
That is... Yeah, but also, like, if Hiko just keeps 17%ing like this is going to be an easy game.
He just charges through, breaks the link while he's going to bottom to reset up for the bounty runes. Times it absolutely perfectly. Batrider does manage to take that bounty rune away, but still, super value charge there.
Yep. I've chatted with Hiko a little bit. He takes a lot of joy in playing, and you can bet that he is just giggling right now. You can't be anything but pleased with yourself when everything lines up as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, 5 minutes in, another charge coming through onto the mid lane. A lot of damage stolen though, so doesn't look like it's gonna be able to translate into anything of substance most likely. As they just back out, Core instead is actually gonna get the block off. Murdoch just going to TP away, cancels this TP, and now is just dead. Okay, unfortunate.
And he doesn't have any points in Dissimulate either, so once he's up that far on the mid lane, you don't get out of that.
Not the greatest thing right there in the world, but obviously needing to go into those other levels, the Aether Remnant to set up for kills, and Resonant Pulse to hopefully try and CS. So kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't type of situation. As they are setting up.
You want to hit that point where you've maxed out all of your both your disable as well as your damage dealing spells. Oh, Hiko getting interrupted on his charge there.
Yeah, unfortunate situation for him. And it does look like now with that kill, NoPing starting to fight back in a strong way. They've got a really good ward in the area here, keeping eyes on the Chen, who is just going to send some of those creeps off the other direction. And well.
He's found a ward.
Yeah.
They had to expect that after spotting the Shaker twice up there.
Definitely.
You got enough use out of your ward, I think, if you're NoPing here. It's okay.
Another charge coming through. Towards the mid lane. They've got the Mud Golem off cooldown in 1 second. Don't even need to hurl the boulder. They just blow up 4DR. Man, this is looking amazing so far for Void Spirit. Hitting that level 6 right then and able to make the play happen.
Yeah, and most of that was just done on his own through clever use of the Resonant Pulse and the Aether Remnant to secure these range creeps. He is a little bit behind in CS to the Razor, but that's okay, because once he's got all of the spells up, we've seen Void Spirits rotating to side lanes, just wreaking havoc, with their huge magic damage.
Yeah, and you do have like big tanky heroes on NoPing, which can probably help to mitigate some of that pressure coming in. But as we've seen, even with the Razor, like he's not too big and strong as of yet, just having those boots and double Wraith bands. As already down bottom, the early pressure coming in with Duster and Sexy Fat. Nature's Prophet and Chen push super duper hard, and rotation coming towards mid as well. They miss on the Aether Remnant, and that means they won't be able to get an easy setup for the kill, but they might be able to bring down Sexy Fat on the Lex, and they do kill him off. So another quick and easy rotation interrupted. Just go back and forth.
Yep. Like, I wanted to, before Hiko stormed into mid again, I wanted to talk about the pushability of both of these teams and the global advantage that FURIA has here with the Spirit Breaker, with the Nature's Prophet. But things are moving so fast, they're really not giving me the time. Hiko is looking for an opportunity to go on mid again, and he gets spotted out by Constabulary. Alright. So, one of the things that's going to be very frustrating is, for example, for Theolicor over here, he just wants to farm up his Blinkdagger. Constabulary just wants to live, but he does not get to do that at all. Double damage on Void Spirit.
All right, push back onto the arena here as Sexy Fat's just gonna get dropped. And it really does kind of feel like both teams are just smashing their faces into each other and seeing like who's gonna come out on top. They're running into each other one after another.
The Batrider looks like he's in a lot of trouble here, and Hiko's got the bashes once again. Murdoch showing up just because he can.
The turnarounds. 40R runs into the midst of all of them. Murdoch doesn't have any more rounds of the Astral Step, so the spear is going to connect to Simulate, hide off in the trees, still taking the damage, and is going to get dropped. Chen Creep's also going to go down, so maybe finally Furia has gone a bit too far. It's still a trade-off of kills 5-5 as they made the rotation bottom to get the first kill, but just a little bit of insanity.
Yeah, and I think you could hear the surprise in my voice when he just astral stepped in there, because that was completely unnecessary, and that gets you punished. You only use one of those.
It's that feeling of too big for your britches, where you think that you're a little bit stronger than you actually are, and you get punished. Deliacore would have loved to get that last hit over there on that small little Alpha Wolf, but no such luck. Top lane, smoked up, Costabile, as well as KJ trying to chase down this Juggernaut. See if they can gobble him up. It's literally no damage. As they're trying to run him down and realize that's not going to work. TPs are canceled, and unfortunate smoke incantation. Not going to work.
Yeah, they're trying to capitalize off of that 6 on the Bat Rider, but unfortunately, Juggernaut is a pass here. He gets out of the way, and he's going to actually join the smoke over on the side of Furia. Gonna try to cut behind these two. Maybe, are they looking for mid? They're looking for mid. This Razor is in trouble.
This is a really big win for them if they can make it happen. Charge comes through, connects, pull him back with Aether Remnant. Gonna even drop the Omni Slash for that. And now it is group up time. Chen mechanism done. Healing ward ready to be dropped if they need it, but it's just going to be the tier 1 tower taken. Tavo, see if he can come in and interrupt this. This is a really hard fight for them to take, though. They pull him back in, trying to dodge away from the arena. It looks like, for the moment, Furia going to give them a little bit of respect.
Yeah, there is really not too much team fight on Furia, so when Tavo shows up, you have to respect that. You don't have any big ultimates to drop into that pit as well. It's just all going to be NoPing assaulting you once you are caught there. So just wait it out. As I said, you've got the global advantage. You can just push where they're not. And one of the things that I'd like to see him do, like their fast play before wasn't so successful with Saxifat dying on the mid lane after pushing in the bot tower. But that is one of the good things that you can do when you have this high mobility on a pushing lineup, is you threaten one tower, you wait for the reactions there, preferably TP reactions, and then you just move over to the other lane and make use of the fact that they're all stuck in a different side of the map. And you push another tower there.
And that becomes so much more effective nowadays as well, even into the later stages, because of the nerfs to Boots of Travel now. So not having that ability to have somebody there to defend and then also head back, that's where Nature's Prophet really shines at this point. So Eco trying to build into the Helm of the Dominator for himself. They already have one done on NoPing's lineup. Costabile has finished it, and just now completing that Necrobook level 1 as well, as they're going to try and stop Deliacore from taking that outpost. Able to force him back for the moment, and you can see very spread out on the map right now is Furia, while NoPing are kind of all playing in the same area-ish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're really forced to keep showing on mid here just because their tower is low and Furia is threatening to take that down immediately, which will put them at a really big disadvantage for like offensive options as well. TPing to the mid tower puts you pretty far into enemy territory already.
Oh, and this is a smoke up now.
He popped the smoke on the back.
Yeah, moving into position. They got him caught with the stun. The TP's already coming in. He misses the spear though, and that's going to keep RDO alive. Oh man, I don't know what happened there, but somehow they missed the spear. Now up top, they've caught Costabile as well. They rotate in with Sexy Fat, gonna try and find him with the Sprout. He does have a Quelling Blade though, as well as Tangos, so it's gonna be real hard for them to get any type of a lockdown here. So it does look like they'll get out with Costabile, while the rest of them rotate in towards the mid lane from NoPing. Charge comes through onto 3, nice initiation. Lift up there at the Eul Scepter. They just try and back out. We'll be able to find Spearbreaker ulti onto the Bat Rider, but with nothing else literally left in the tank, the big jump forward, Aether Remnant. Oh, and they get the hit. Man, nice play. They're able to connect right at the end there on the Bat Rider.
Yeah, very nicely done. And that's the thing that we saw there with both of the carries playing on the opposite side of the map and being able to get out. A lot of the way these teams move on the map is going to come down to how well these carries feel enabled to play up that far. And right now I think it's easier for Costabile to do just because he has got so much offensive vision down. Whereas right now, the offensive vision from Furia is really not there. And Zeraze is going to clean up the bot wave. And he's going to feel just fine reclaiming all of this territory for himself. So it is actually the side of Furia that even though they're ahead there, they're getting watched. And NoPing feels very safe on their own side of the map right now.
It sort of reminds me of what you were talking about at the start of this game, how I'm feeling how this one's working out, right? Like, it's like there's a lot of action, a lot of back and forth, not often that many actual kills relative to the amount of damage that's being dealt, it feels like, which is sort of strange, but fun as well. It's, you know, it's just good old South American Dota. I'm loving seeing it. It's going to be an interesting rest of this one too, because it feels like both sides, to me at least, kind of want to do the same thing. I'm curious what you think about, you talked about enabling the cores, Costabile being able to run up and like try and pressure towers. It sort of feels like it's the same type of game plan with Furia, with the Nature's Prophet. Like, is there one team that you feel like needs to get stuff done earlier, or are both pretty comfortable going into the later stages?
I'd say both are pretty comfortable. The big differences between these lineups to me, like what they do in total, is in the mid laners, Murdoch's got a lot more burst damage, whereas Eraser really wants to survive the first parts of the fight and then deal damage through staying in the game.
Okay.
So Furia is probably going to do a little bit more poke and prod, see if they can blow someone up, versus NoPing really being able to stand and fight.
It was interesting there as well. You saw down bottom, like they're able to get, because they have so many summons on Furia, they can get really good vision around the map, and that sets up for a Spearbreaker charge. But as we saw, when that happens, he just went in and died afterwards. Because even if they could find him, they couldn't really stick hold to him and make the kill happen. Kind of need some more damage on their side coming out first, as they do have vision. Charge currently going on to 40R. Trying to set up for a kill and seeing if he separates from the herd here as the Hiko rotation moves into position, pulling him back and away. Good Yule Scepter lift up. Murdoch tempting fate a little bit going in. There's a hell of a lot of centaurs, and that sets up for a pretty big dunk afterwards. They kill off Sexy Fat, trying to run down the Spearbreaker. The rest of Furia says, we need to get the hell out of here, as there's a big bad wolf chasing Duster, gonna try and pull him back in. And this is the fight that NoPing wanted. Holy hell. RDO also in trouble, tries to spin, seeing if he can get out of there. They have ran out, but actually he's able to walk away almost, but not quite, as he does get out, just barely. That could have gone a hell of a lot worse for Furia.
Oh yeah, I could, especially because I was surprised to see them taking the fight, because RDO was just sitting mid, showing no intention of going top whatsoever, while his Fury was already TPing in. So he arrives late, doesn't get to deal any damage, and then has to run for his life as the wolf chases him down.
Definitely spooky stuff. He's still trying to get in towards that Battle Furies, in towards the mid lane. Does look like NoPing still chasing, as they already got the tier 2 tower. Sexy Fat hoping to get out of here. There is going to be a Batrider Firefly wearing off soon. Maybe he can go for it now. He's just dead. Is Hiko dead also?
Yes, he is.
Oh no.
His fissure blocks from Theologra have been really nice.
Yeah.
Man's been on point. Now, this is really what you need. If you have this many units, you gotta make sure they get to deal the damage, because each one of them individually doesn't actually do that much. So you all need to get to hit your target, and the fissure block is gonna do that, just that for you.
If we all think back to when you know, this collection of Brazilian players first sort of came on the map, I feel like it was off of the back of Helio Shaker, where people were banning it against him like almost every game, it felt like. And you know, the heroes changed a little bit, not too much. The players stayed the same, and he's still super duper talented on it. As they will be able to pick up the Aegis now. Costabile gets that one done for himself. Currently top net worth in the game, as poor old Duster, my man's in trouble, and he is going to drop. We'll see if his creeps are able to escape, but at least for now it looks like they might get cleaned up as well. Tough stuff.
Yeah, and I think Furia is in a real pickle now, because they can't really fight this straight up, especially if the Arena of Blood is up, but they also can't split push all that well, because you have that threat of the Shaker from the fog. You also have this Bat Rider who can always interrupt the Juggernaut spin TP if he wants to. And that makes it really hard to get out on the map without losing any heroes. So if you're FURIA right now, you have to throw bodies at them or be prepared to just give up towers like this and hoping you can get some damage in on the other lanes like RGO is doing on the bottom right now.
Yeah, they're keeping the Spirit Breaker back here to protect him as they are bringing in the Bat Rider. Charge comes through, does have spin TP, and oh, a good route there. That might have been the death of RDO if he would have been able to get in range for the lasso. So Pico going to be caught and killed, most likely. Charge. Now you'll separate his lift up. On the other side of the map, Duster did go down again. As has happened time and again, Murdoch trying to escape. RDO's in position, but a big old crit comes through the stomp to try and make a little bit of space, but this Lycan is terrifying right now.
Yes, he's got that Necro book finished. He's got Helm of the Dominator. I think that we're going to see... One of the reasons that we're seeing Lycan so much is just because Dominator is very strong right now. We're going to see it on pretty much every lineup. Continuing on from this, I think. You get the +7 stats. You get this amazing Dominator aura with all of your allied and player units getting extra 20% base damage, which is a ridiculous boost if you think about it. And this ban is unstoppable right now.
Got their eyes on Sexy Fat again, who just wants to escape. Maybe he could bait out some type of an echo being used. Does drop the echo right there. And all right, I think he just escapes now, maybe? Or he goes back to farming.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he's free.
All right, cool. The thing you were talking about with Dominator as well, I kind of wonder if part of the reason behind it is that Midas is so much less picked up nowadays. Because I know when I was in my Darkseer spamming days, like seeing a Lifestealer or a Midas just made my heart hurt so much whenever I was playing it. Feels like the departure of those items from the meta might have made it better as well.
It definitely has. And building a Dom against Chen is always nice because he's going to bring you creeps.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Top tower is under attack.
All right, RDO pushing up top lane. He's getting more and more farmed with the Battle Fury and the Mask of Madness ready to party, but he needs a hell of a lot more farm to try and keep up with Possibility. He's almost got an AC done.
Yeah, I'm just worried about Furia's damage output at this point because the Void Spiriters had full kit for Lana. Oh,
damage being stolen though. Gonna spin TP away since the Bat Rider has already gone. Sexy Fat also going to be able to escape. So they managed to find one pick off there, get a ton of damage onto the tower, and get out afterwards.
It might get some bonus kills on top though.
Oh god! He just gets blown up. Oh, and now they're gonna try and chase down on the other side. Costabile is escaping. There's a lot of heroes surrounding him though. Oh, good stomp. Follow-up stomp comes through the charge connection. Very well played as they take down the Aegis at the very least. Now, can they get a second round of this? That's the question. Buyback from Nature's Prophet. They want to find that kill. Chase down is complete. Tavo now in trouble as well. He doesn't have a Quelling Blade to get out of there. Does have a Blink Dagger, so they need to break that Blink. 1 second left. Blink away. Tavo doesn't even need to. He's got Haste Rune. It's cool as a cucumber.
He's fine. And I gotta say, remember when I said that Furia gotta throw bodies at their problem? Pico has been throwing his body everywhere, and I mean he's a Spirit Breaker. That's exactly what you gotta do.
Yeah.
And the amount of time that they've just forced NoPing to break off these pushes of theirs is incredible.
Sexy Fat push back in. Eco throwing another body to try and save his poor old Nature's Prophet. Unfortunately, it is not looking that likely that he's going to be able to get out of there as they blow him the hell up. Eco's still running. They do have a Eul Scepter up for 40R, so I think it's pretty tough for him to find his way out. Maybe a charge through the Razor. Yeah. Nice combo there. And then the walk away, back the other direction. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Rough stuff.
I agree with Tavo here.
Sorry, well played. They're feeling good about themselves. Is this the time when NoPing can finally go high ground even without the Aegis?
Yes, it is. Like, they've been breaking off these pushes all the time to deal with this Juggernaut this Nature Prophet on the side lane. Then Hiko comes in, messes everything up. Both of them are dead right now. This tower's gonna melt.
It is super duper falling down, and they don't even have that AC done yet. Murdoch, only one round of that Astral Step available. Does have some decent damage. They push back into Duster, got him caught with the Purge. My man is gone. Does have buyback on the chat. We'll see if they can maybe bait them into a fight afterwards. But even if they take that fight, it's feeling really rough trying to win it.
Yes, you have both of the big team fight ultimates up on NoPing right now. If you're Furia, you want to kick off. You wanted to get momentum going in this game with this Void Spirit, but right now,
we need the biggest anime slash in the world from this Juggernaut if he's hoping for a win here. Jump forward, Echo Slam. That's not the way to start it. Oh God, he's dead. And Chen is gone as well. No buyback. Hiko is also gone. Anime is dead. As it looks like Furia are going to be losing at second set of racks and then just back out instead of finishing off the melee one. Oh, that hurts. That hurts.
It does. Well, they got a Razor kill because he was left on his own and Murdoch got to pick him off again, giving that the damage to good use. So there was still a bit of anime left in this game.
Fair enough. You can take it. It's 12k gold lead though. Roche possible.
Oh no, sexy fat.
Is he dead again? Oh no! Look at this man. He's got some moves. Send in the treants. Block your way. It ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, that's really not enough. He came in to snipe a bounty rune right there, and unfortunately for him, so did the Oliver.
I knew it. So the Razor, some solace of being able to pick him off, but Juggernaut forced to buy back there. Now he's well and firmly behind the Lycan. He was like behind him, but it was kind of okay.
Another pick off happening.
Oh God, it's just everywhere.
Bravo. With the double damage, just murders the Void Spirit.
And back towards mid lane. They found the Chen. Buyback from Void Spirit as he wants to help somebody, anybody. But game is so hard. And
yeah, I thought for a while there that Furia had the pattern of, breaking off these pushes.
No, it's not enough. It's not quite enough as they jump in with the core, take down the Juggernaut. GG called. They got the kill on the Lycan and immediately GG'd out. It's to be expected a little bit. Tough stuff from Furia. NoPing looking pretty good with the craziness.
Yep. It was, well, as you said, they were really just butting heads for a while, and after a while, Furia